Hey mommies, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. Well, today we're having an awesome day. In fact, Isaac is really getting into this position, like flat on his tummy, and he's almost starting to do like the push-up movements to crawl. So he's doing really good, and he is loving his foods. It's been a month now since he started eating solids. And we have transitioned him really slowly, which I'm really happy about because I feel that it hasn't affected my milk supply, which is something that's really crucial when we start to introduce solids. We get really giddy and happy about it, and we want the baby to be eating all sorts of new and exciting things. But you have to take it slowly when you're a breastfeeding mom, particularly when you're exclusively breastfeeding, because you don't want that introduction to solids to mean that it's going to, decrease your milk supply or anything like that. Because remember that milk supply works on supply and demand and supply. So look at him, he's moving all over the place. Say hi, hello. So you have to be really careful about that. And also in regards to like first foods, if you're just about to start to introduce your baby to foods, remember it should be around the 6-month mark. Don't do it at 4 months. It's way too early. It's really so much more worth it when you start them at 6 months. There's a lot of health benefits. I'll do another Facebook Live about that, but I just wanted to talk about something in particular today, which was about the first food, baby's first food. A lot of people, or before, we used to recommend that first foods be like the baby cereals, like the rice cereals that you see out there. Gerber makes them and a bunch of other different brands. But really, they don't have, like, especially rice cereal, it really doesn't offer any nutritional value to the baby. So there's really no point on starting like with cereals. It's we used to tend to think that it had to be in stages. So you would introduce the cereals first, like the rice cereal or the oatmeal cereal, and then you would introduce the foods, and you would start usually with the greens, and then the reds, and then fruits, and then the very last thing was meats. Well, it's actually the opposite. You should actually start to introduce your baby to foods earlier, because they're going to get protein out of that. They're going to get a lot of iron out of that, and they need that right now, especially with the growth stage that they're in. So don't be scared to introduce things like liver, like meat, like chicken earlier on, like around, I'm just about to start Isaac now on those meats. I wanted to start off with vegetables and things like that first, and fruits, but I didn't start in any particular order, like greens or reds or whatever. Some people say that also because of the taste, that if you get them first on veggies and things like that, because they're more bland, then I guess they like those better or something. There is no science behind it. It really is as beneficial to start them on either fruits or vegetable first, and it doesn't matter what colors they are. The important thing that you want to bear in mind when you're going to introduce solids to your baby is that it offers nutritional value to your baby. So it's absolutely fine to offer the ones that you prefer. Like I said, have a read about different types of vegetables and fruits and what has the higher content of nutritional value for your baby, and those are the ones that you want to start giving. And then obviously blend them in with like things that are really rich in iron, like liver and meats and things like that, and that's perfectly fine. And in regards to cereals, that's fine if you want to give your baby cereal, like maybe in the morning for breakfast, but I would stay away from those like I said, baby brands. They have a bunch of, like, really research them, what ingredients they have. They have a bunch of fillers, and some of them say that they're really rich in things like iron, and they're not. So just double check that, and definitely not the rice cereal, because like I said, white rice really has no nutritional value whatsoever. In fact, one of the things you may want to start to consider is introduce your baby and your children to things like quinoa and couscous and things, and whole grains, like a whole grain pasta, brown pasta, maybe even brown rice. But white rice really has no nutritional value for your baby. So I would like stay off of introducing your baby to things like that. And white bread also, that has no value in regards to nutrition for your baby. It's just filling the stomach up, and in fact not so good, because it's going to be creating like swelling, so your baby feels very full, and then they're like very hungry later. So those are just some things there to consider, and just wanted to leave you with that. In regards to first foods, first solids, did you try anything first? I was under that impression with my first baby about that they had to be in a certain order, and I really waited too long to introduce meats and things like that. So I will let you mommies know how it goes with Isaac, and we're probably going to start with some beef, something like that. And I would also make sure that you when you're choosing the type of meats that you're going to be feeding your baby, make sure that they're organic. If they're grass-fed cows, then that's even better. And stay away from like chicken brands and stuff like that that have antibiotics and hormones and things like that. You want to keep it as fresh and clean as possible for your baby. So just wanted to leave you with that. Bye, mommies.